Hello, 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 hello. Good afternoon, good morning, depending on where you are. This is Tony Claudine Lasana. Um, uh, yes, this is Tony Claudine Lasana. I'm coming here. I'm here with you from Houston, Texas, immigration attorney. I hope you've had a wonderful week. And today I thought I would come here to talk about now, after the elections, after Donald Trump is elected to be the president, to have a second term beginning January, uh, what should we expect during his second mandate? So that's what we're going to talk about today. So, I mean, I think everybody, most of you know that. He has announced, he has repeated that he will be very tough on immigration. He said he was going to conduct a quote mass deportation, and he's not backing down on what he's planning to do. So, so he hasn't really announced what he's going to do. He has not rolled out the plan. But now, what we know right now is that he's expected to have uh, detention camps. There are talks that immigration detention camps will be expanded, will be built where they are. If they are not built, they are looking at some of the private entities. He's working with the private sector to use some of the warehouse or some of the camps or facilities available to detain everybody who's coming through the border. So, so he's going to use and what they call catch and release. Catch and release, what does that mean? Catch and release, it basically whoever is apprehended at the border, they will be processed in. They will be given a what's called a credible fear interview. If they pass that interview, they will usually give them a notice to appear, and they will let them go in the community, and then make sure they appear before the judge. That's not what Trump is about to do. For him, everybody who's coming through the border, they are going to be detained, and they are going to go through what's called expedited removal process. The expedited removal process, it means if you arrive in the United States and you are caught, usually, if you are caught within 100 days of your arrival or close to the border, you will be processed quickly, meaning they'll have to know why you come to the United States. They detain you. If you say you are seeking asylum, they will make sure to schedule expedited process with an immigration judge who's going to, either admit you as a refugee or deport you. And I don't need to remind you that the percentage of approval during the expedited interviews, expedited um, a, a process, it's almost 0%. It's less than 10% for sure. Okay, so now he also going to conduct mass deportation. So far, they have not explained what is the mass deportation going to be like. They haven't. They're just basically some of the Trump's team members have gone on TV, have gone on in the media, and what they're explaining is they will begin with everybody who has a criminal record. Everybody who has a criminal record and they are here in the United States illegally, they will be processed and they will be um, deported. So how does that look like? So first of all, I think the definition of illegal immigrant is going to be broadened. Some people think, well, illegal immigrant is somebody who's coming through the border. No. Somebody who has overstayed their visa is illegal. it's undocumented because they don't have status. Someone who has a pending asylum case, you have a pending petition, any type of petition, you may be deemed illegal or undocumented because basically you are in the process. You are in the gray area, like Elon Musk said he was in a gray area at one time. So that means if you have a criminal record and you are in overstay, or you are in the process of your asylum, or in the process of your any application, you will be apprehended. And that's going to lead me to my next point. So you'll be caught and you'll be processed in for deportation. So let me give you an example. I had a client who came on a student visa, F1, and they overstayed. When they overstayed, they had some criminal record. So, that's when they came to me after they had a criminal record, they did their time, and after that they are sent to immigration because you no longer have a status. So while at the detention center with ICE is Immigration Customs Enforcement, then they were where they asked for asylum. They request, well, you cannot send me back to my country, so I apply for asylum. Okay, the judge is like, okay, good. So we give you 48 hours to present your asylum case. Of course, with the 48 hours, he presented his asylum case, and the asylum case was denied. So this person was detained, and then his removal proceedings began, and he spent months in detention center trying to get a bond, trying to get some uh, other relief available for him, but it did not work. So he was deported. So that's how it's going to be mass deportation of illegal immigrants. It's not only those who are coming through the border. Those who are coming through the border, those actually will be put in detention camps, and the remaining in Mexico will continue. So whoever is apprehended at the border, or whoever who present themselves at the border seeking for asylum, Trump is going to reinstate the remaining in Mexico. The remaining in Mexico actually was called migration process. It's MPP. So I forgot what it is, but it's remain in Mexico. Basically, you come through the border, you seek asylum. They say, okay, wait in Mexico. You're gonna wait in Mexico, and then whenever your court date arrives, we will bring you to US. So that's remain in Mexico, and there's a catch and release, and there's mass deportation, and something else that is being you know is being proposed, which I don't know how it's going to work, because some of these Trump cannot do without Congress approval. But again, Congress now is going to be for sure. We know the Senate is in his favor because the Republican Party has a majority. We are still waiting to see if the House of Representatives also is going to be a majority for Republicans. So if he has both chambers on his side, it's gonna be easy for him to do what he needs to do. So what does he want? Like, there's this thing called Project 2025, which he said he distanced himself from, but literally what he's proposing, you find that in the Project 2025, like the idea that he's going to ask Congress, or he's going uh, to uh, um, to have an executive order which will state that any illegal immigrants children born in the United States will not automatically become US citizen. That's something he should not do. He's not allowed to do that. But he's gonna pass that executive order so that the case goes in the court system. And once it gets to the US Supreme Court, which again is now a conservative Supreme Court, like 6 out of 9 justices, they are conservatives, and he actually appointed 3 out of those that in last term. So I don't know. I don't know if they're gonna change the 14th Amendment of the United States Constitution. So that's something we are waiting to see. Some other thing he said he's going to do, he said he wanted to militarize the border, which, I think so far the courts have said no, he cannot do that. So maybe he's going to try again. Um, so I already talked about expedited removal. He's going to expand the immigration detention centers. I talked about that again. And, that's in the Project 2025 is being actually said by his pundits, like the people who are preparing his transition. So which means at least most of what was in the Project 2025 with regard to immigration is being now worked on to be implemented. So uh, perhaps he's gonna do also something else that's in the Project 2025, which he wants to eliminate some popular relief programs such as TPS. TPS it's a temporary protected status. There are now over, I think, 7 to 10 countries, nationals who have TPS, and the most recent ones are Haiti, Cameroon, Ukraine. There is um, Sudan, there is El Salvador, there is so many countries on that are on TPS. So since he cannot do this, he says he's going to ask Congress to eliminate TPS. So we'll see if Congress is going to do that. Again, he has Congress on his side. We don't know. And so far right now, over 700,000 migrants, they benefit from TPS from all those different countries I just mentioned. So he wants to propose to eliminate TPS. He's going again to try to take away DACA. DACA is deferred action for childhood arrivals. He did last time he was president in his first term. He wanted to stop DACA, but the U.S. Supreme Court stopped him. But that was before his new appointed justices took, when I mean, were on the bench. So now that he has all of them, 6, so we see what is the Supreme Court going to do. Um, Let me see. Oh, the last one is entangling local and federal law enforcement. This one is very important. So basically, he wants to request states to act in the place of the federal agency. I began by talking about ICE. ICE is the Immigration Customs Enforcement. That is a federal agency in charge of immigration enforcement, right? It's the police of the immigration, but it's a federal agency. Now he wants to ask states to also use the police department, to also round up migrants. They're talking about going to schools, hospitals, and everywhere there is a public gathering and just do random raids to see who is illegal. Now, that will violate so many rights, especially the First Amendment. So I don't know how that was going to be, but I have to tell you, in Texas passed the law called SB4 that was gonna allow the Texas um, the police to be involved in immigration. And it was halted by a federal judge. However, when he arrived at the U.S. Supreme Court, the highest court, the justices, again, those conservative justices, allowed the law to take in place while they wait to hear the merits of that lawsuit that was brought against SB4. So that means in Texas for sure, in January, when Trump takes power, he's going to ask the Governor Abbott, and the Governor Abbott already he will say, yes, I have my police already because I have SB4. It's illegal. So you can go ahead and do your raids how you want them. But again, this is going to violate um, so many rights of U.S. citizens, of U.S. Residents, of U.S. asylees and refugees because, and also it might be profiling because how are you going to know who is illegal? Like you can't just go at a school or a hospital or anywhere randomly, even at the close to the border, because there are people who live close to the border and then say, okay, you look like illegal immigrants, so show me your paper. That's not how it's done here in the United States. So, without without spending much time on this, so we are here to see what's gonna happen. I have to remind you, this is not our first rodeo with the Trump administration in 2016 to 2020. We worked with his administration. We represented our clients to the best of our ability, zealously. We even uh, brought legal action against the immigration, his administration when it came to our clients. So we are equipped to represent our clients in within the immigration court agency, in federal court as well. We did that. We went to federal courts to we brought some legal actions in federal court against the decisions of his last administration, and we'll do it for any administration. So basically, that here, the law office of Claudine Gassana, we are very prepared to represent our clients, to advocate for migrants, for the rights of immigrants, for the rights of citizens, because so many rights are at stake. And we will see and we'll keep you updated as new policies are put in place. We will have the literature and we will have some documents to help you know your rights. If you go to our website, cugasanalaw.com, there is already some documents that we posted years ago. They are still there on our blog, on our resources, so that you know your rights. Maybe the next video I will do is to remind you what are your rights, because you have rights. Even refugee, asylum seekers, people who are here overstayed, you have due process rights. So those rights have to be respected. The Constitution has given us all those rights. So it's good to know your rights. Nobody can come to your house, knock without a warrant. If they knock, you have to ask them who are they? What do they want? They cannot just come into your house. So we will go over the know your rights, maybe next video, so that you are prepared, and feel free to share with anybody you think they will need this information, and we'll keep you updated. All right. So I want to wish you a happy Friday and a happy weekend. We see